Only 3 players in the modern era have done this, and Antoine Griezmann just became one of them. But wait, how did the man once written off by Barcelona rise from doubt to join Messi and Ronaldo in football's most elite scoring club? This isn't just about goals, it's about redemption, resilience, and rewriting destiny itself. Stay tuned, because the story behind Griezmann's 300th goal will make you see him in a whole new light, and the twist at the end, you won't believe it. We'll explain everything in this video, step by step. Don't skip it. Ladies and gentlemen, football fans around the world, buckle up, because history has just been rewritten at the Wanda Metropolitano! Antoine Griezmann, the French magician, the smiling assassin, has done it again, and this time he's stepped into a club so exclusive. Even legends need an invite! Yes, you heard that right. Griezmann now joins Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the elite 300 goal club for club and country! What a monumental achievement for a player who's battled criticism, comeback stories, and countless doubters, yet continues to rise like a phoenix in red and white! Think about it. This is the same Griezmann who left Atlético for Barcelona, faced the storm, heard the boos, but came back home and turned them in cheers of redemption. And tonight, he's written his name in gold ink alongside the 2 greatest of our era. The crowd erupts. Cholo Simeone is punching the air on the touchline, and you can feel that energy. This is more than a goal. It's a moment of destiny. From World Cup glory with France to club battles across Europe, Griezmann's journey has been pure passion and perseverance. And now, with this milestone, he's not just a great, he's a legend. So raise your scarves, Atlético fans, because the Prince of Madrid has just earned his crown in football's kingdom of immortals. Antoine Griezmann, 300 goals and counting, because legends don't chase numbers, they create history. The stadium was electric, the atmosphere pulsing with anticipation as fans packed into the stands, their voices merging into a roaring symphony of red and white. On this night, football wasn't just a game, it was destiny unfolding before the eyes of thousands. Antoine Griezmann, the man who had once been doubted, questioned and even criticized, stood on the brink of immortality. Every touch of the ball carried weight, every move whispered of something monumental about to happen. The energy around him was thick, the crowd sensing that this was more than another league fixture. It was a moment history had been waiting for. Griezmann, with that calm, collected demeanor and the trademark smile that hides his competitive fire, was ready to step into a realm where only legends dare to trade. The whistle blew, Atlético surged forward, and Griezmann's every movement spoke of confidence earned through years of resilience and evolution. The journey to this night had not been simple. Griezmann's career has been a story of incredible highs and gut-wrenching lows of glory and grit intertwined in equal measure. From his early days at Real Sociedad, where his flair first caught the world's attention, to his rise as Atlético Madrid's talisman under Diego Simeone, every chapter added layers to the legend. When he moved to Barcelona, it seemed like a dream come true, but it quickly turned into a storm of expectations and pressure. He faced criticism from media, fans, and even former teammates, but he never lost his composure. Instead, he did what true champions do. He learned, adapted, and returned stronger. The return to Atlético was more than a transfer. It was a redemption arc. He came back not as the prodigal son, but as the warrior who had been through fire and found his purpose again. Tonight, as he scored the goal that took him into the elite company of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, the magnitude of his career came full circle. This wasn't just about statistics, it was about perseverance, loyalty, and love for the game. Messi and Ronaldo, the 2 names that have defined football for nearly 2 decades, now share this rarefied air with a player whose journey has always been driven by heart. Griezmann's 300th goal was vintage Griezmann. Intelligent movement, flawless timing, and a finish so composed it could freeze time itself. The crowd's roar echoed across Madrid, fans jumping, hugging, chanting his name, their hero etched into history. Cameras flashed, his teammates mobbed him, and for a brief moment, football felt pure again. A reminder of why millions fall in love with this game every single day. In that instant, everybody had endured the criticism, the pressure, the setbacks transformed into validation. His story isn't about overnight success or unchallenged dominance. It's about endurance, reinvention, and unwavering belief. Antoine Griezmann has not only joined an elite club, but done it his way through grace, style, and unshackable determination that refuses to bow to the odds. The roar of the Wanda Metropolitano was deafening. A thunderous wave of emotion crashing down as the scoreboard flashed Antoine Griezmann's name once more. The French forward, known for his flair, precision, and unrelenting drive, had just etched his name alongside the 2 most iconic figures of modern football, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. This was not just another goal. It was a statement, a declaration that perseverance, loyalty, and resilience could stand shoulder to shoulder with raw greatness. As Griezmann stood there, arms wide, soaking in the eruption of the crowd, you could feel years of hard work, sacrifice, and redemption merging into that single unforgettable moment. For Atlético fans, it was more than pride, it was vindication. Their star had joined football's celestial pantheon. The Frenchman's journey had never been about shortcuts or hype. It had always been about evolution, consistency, and a relentless hunger to prove that he belongs among the best. Every milestone in Griezmann's career has come through layers of struggle and perseverance. From his early rejection by French academies due to his small frame to finding his breakthrough in Spain with Real Sociedad, His path has been paved with doubt turned into determination. Under Diego Simeone at Atlético Madrid, he found the perfect partner in discipline and fire, a coach who demanded everything and a player willing to give even more. Together, they built something extraordinary, a culture that valued fight over fame, grit over glamour. Griezmann thrived in that environment, transforming from a promising winger into one of Europe's deadliest forwards. But even with his success, the hunger never stopped. When the Barcelona move came, it seemed destined to elevate him further, yet it brought turbulence instead. The chemistry never quite clicked and criticism poured in from all directions. For many, that would have been the breaking point, but Griezmann used it as fuel. Returning to Atletico was seen by some as a step back, but in reality was a homecoming, a reconnection with his true footballing soul. The boost turned to applause. Skepticism turned to admiration, and match by match he rebuilt not just his image but his legacy. Tonight's goal, the one that placed him among Messi and Ronaldo, is the ultimate symbol of that rebirth. While others defined eras through sheer dominance, Griezmann defined his through resilience, through his ability to keep rising no matter how many times he was written off. It's not just about scoring 300 goals. It's about the spirit behind each one, the battles fought, the expectations endured, the nights of silence before the storm of applause. As the chants of Greasy echoed through the night sky of Madrid, the emotion was impossible to ignore. The joy wasn't just his, it belonged to every fan who had stood by him through the highs and the heartbreaks. Every young player told they weren't good enough, every dreamer who refused to quit. And Griezmann's rise into football's elite scoring club is a testament that greatness isn't only measured by trophies or headlines, but by the unbreakable fire within those who never stop believing. The cameras flashed like lightning across the Wanda Metropolitano, the chants of thousands echoing in rhythmic waves, and at the centre of it all stood Antoine Griezmann, calm, smiling, yet burning with the kind of inner fire only true champions possess. His latest milestone, joining the ranks of Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the elite 300 goal club, wasn't just another record to add to the list. It was a moment that embodied every ounce of struggle, every ounce of redemption, every ounce of passion that had defined his career. Griezmann's story has always been about proving people wrong, about rising when it would have been easier to fade away. Tonight, under the floodlights, he wasn't just scoring a goal, he was sealing his legacy as one of football's most resilient warriors. The journey from the boy who faced rejection to the man who commands stadiums is a story of unshakable belief, a reminder that greatness is often born in adversity. From the very beginning, Griezmann had to fight for his place in the football world. Too small, too light, too fragile. Those were the labels thrown his way as a young player in France. But instead of letting those words define him, he took his talent abroad, finding a home at Real Sociedad, where his quick feet and sharper mind began to turn heads. It wasn't long before the world realized they were witnessing something special, a player whose intelligence on the pitch was matched only by his work ethic. Then came the call from Atlético Madrid, and under Diego Simeone's relentless system, Griezmann evolved from a promising forward into a complete player, a leader, a fighter, a creative genius who could change games in an instant. Every run, every tackle, every goal was drenched in intensity. The bond between player and club deepened, and soon the name Griezmann became synonymous with Atletico's spirit, passionate, tireless, unyielding. But even heroes face storms. His move to Barcelona, once seen as a dream step towards superstardom, turned into one of the toughest chapters of his career. The weight of expectations was immense, and the critics were louder than ever. Many believed he had peaked, that his spark was fading in the shadow of giants. Yet, as he always has, Griezmann refused to let that narrative define him. He returned to Atletico not as a broken player, but as a man on a mission. The cheers that welcomed him back carried both hope and doubt, but what followed silenced them all. With every goal, every assist, every selfless run, he rebuilt the trust, re-earned the respect, and reignited the fire that once made him unplayable. Now, standing shoulder to shoulder with Messi and Ronaldo in the history books, Griezmann's name resonates beyond statistics. His legacy lies not only in the goals he's scored, but in the battles he's fought. The internal wars, the comebacks, the moments when he rose from disappointment to dominance. This milestone isn't about matching legends. It's about reminding the world that persistence, passion and purpose can carve their own place in football's eternal story. The sound of the crowd swelled like a wave, every chant, every clap blending into a living, breathing heartbeat of passion. In the middle it all stood Antoine Griezmann, the French forward who had just reached a milestone few could even dream of. With 300 goals to his name, he had joined football's sacred pantheon, rubbing shoulders with Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, the two icons who defined an era. Yet this wasn't just a statistic, it was the culmination of years of perseverance, humility and quiet brilliance. Griezmann isn't the loudest superstar nor the flashiest, but his journey has always been about substance over spectacle, about turning setbacks into stepping stones. Every fan inside the Wanda Metropolitano could feel it. This was more than a celebration of numbers. It was the crowning of a story written with sweat, scars and spirit. The match itself had tension hanging thick in the air. Atletico needed a spark, something to lift them from the grind of a tough encounter, and as always, Griezmann stepped up. He drifted between defenders, found the pocket of space, and when the ball arrived, He finished with the precision of a surgeon and the coolness of a veteran who has seen it all. The net rippled and time seemed to stand still before the roar exploded around the stadium. Griezmann raised his hands, not in arrogance but in gratitude, soaking in the emotion that poured from the stands. It was a moment of pure connection between player and fans, between past struggles and present glory. He wasn't just scoring for himself, he was scoring for every believer who had stayed loyal through the twists and turns of his career. From a young age, Griezmann's path had been anything but smooth. Rejected by French academies for being too small, he found his way to Spain where his determination began to blossom. Real Sociedad gave him a platform, but it was Atlético Madrid that molded him into a machine of discipline and creativity. Under Diego Simeone, he became a symbol of hard work, a player who could defend, create and finish all in one motion. But as his reputation grew, so did the expectations, and the move to Barcelona marked the most challenging chapter of his journey. He faced constant scrutiny, comparisons, and the suffocating pressure of performing alongside legends in a system that didn't quite fit his rhythm. Many players might have folded under that weight, but Griezmann chose to endure, to learn, and ultimately to return to where his heart belonged. His comeback to Atletico wasn't just a transfer, it was a rebirth. The fans who once questioned him found themselves chanting his name again, louder and prouder than ever. Each goal since then has carried a deeper meaning, not just numbers on a sheet, but proof of resilience, proof that belief never fades when matched with hard work. Now, as he stands among the greatest scorers of the modern era, Griezmann's story serves as a powerful reminder that legacy isn't built overnight, and greatness doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply endures. The stadium lights glowed like stars against the night sky as Antoine Griezmann stood on the pitch, surrounded by the echoes of thousands chanting his name. It wasn't just another night in Madrid. It was a celebration of endurance, artistry, and the unrelenting pursuit of greatness. Griezmann, in his signature calm yet confident stride, had just entered football's most exclusive realm, joining Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo in the elite club of 300 career goals. It was a milestone that symbolized far more than numbers. It told the story of a player who never gave up, who faced doubt head on, who left stumbled and returned stronger than ever. The moment he scored, the roar from the stands wasn't just joy, it was collective pride, as if every Atlético Madrid supporter could feel the emotion of his entire journey coursing through that single strike. Griezmann's path has never been simple, and perhaps that's what makes his story so compelling. His career has always been defined by movement, not just on the pitch, but in life. From Real Sociedad to Atlético Madrid to Barcelona and back again, every step was filled with lessons that shaped the player and the man. At Sociedad, he was the bright young talent defying expectations. At Atlético, he became the heartbeat of a relentless system that thrived on passion, work rate, and unity. At Barcelona, he faced the toughest challenge of his career, finding his rhythm in a setup dominated by legends. The expectations were immense and the criticism was unforgiving, yet instead of breaking under the weight, Griezmann used it as fuel, returning to Atletico not with arrogance but with humility and a hunger that few possess. When he came back, many questioned whether he could still deliver at the highest level. Could he reclaim his throne? Could he still lead a team built on grit and fire? The answer came not through words but through performances that spoke louder than anything else. Griezmann didn't just return, he evolved. His intelligence, movement and unselfishness on the ball made him more complete than ever before. Simeone's trust in him reignited his spark. And every match since has been a reminder of why he's not just a player. He's a symbol of Atletico's spirit. The fans who once doubted him began to chant his name again, louder with every goal, every assist, every tireless sprint to win the ball back. And now as he joins Messi and Ronaldo, Griezmann's achievement carries a special weight. Unlike the two global icons who've always been cast as rivals, his story's quieter, grittier and more human. He's the everyman superstar, the one who had to climb through obstacles instead of being handed the crown. Each of his 300 goals tells a story of growth, perseverance and love for the game. Standing under the floodlights, surrounded by his teammates and an adoring crowd, he reminds the football world that true greatness isn't only about domination, it's about dedication, resilience and the will to rise. No matter how many times life brings you down, thank you for listening and don't forget to like and subscribe.